Welcome to the Investor Agent Synergy Podcast, where real estate investors and agents come together to build partnerships, create value, and achieve more together. Whether you're an agent looking to unlock new opportunities or an investor seeking the right partnerships, this is the place to learn, grow, and connect. This podcast is proudly sponsored by New Hampshire Homebuyers, a trusted leader in local house buying since 2017. With over 100 glowing reviews and a commitment to being local, fair, and trusted, New Hampshire Homebuyers helps homeowners throughout New Hampshire and Massachusetts sell their homes in any condition. Now, let's dive into the podcast.
Wow. Episode 4, Shelly.
Already. Do you believe it?
It feels like we just started recording like an hour ago.
I know.
Oh, wait, we were. Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for being here today for the Investor Agent Synergy Podcast, episode 4. We're really excited. We got more great guests today. We're going to introduce them in a second. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm Jeremy Beland. It's my beautiful wife, Michelle. And we are the hosts of this podcast. And we hope you are enjoying our first few episodes. Today is going to be another one of those episodes you guys really enjoy. We know these guys personally. We've done some business with them. Talk about people out and about in the community, really trying to provide a difference in adding value, not with just real estate, but just in everything they do. These guys are the epitome of value giving. So welcome to the episodes.
Yes, welcome.
Dan and Drew.
Thanks for having us.
Dan and Drew Childs Realty, Manchester, New Hampshire.
Yeah, thanks. We're happy to be here. We're excited to talk to you guys. We love doing business with you and knowing you and having you as friends. We're coming up on almost 1 year in our friendship.
Wow.
You can believe that.
Already?
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
All right.
No wonder why you've aged so much. No,
Yeah,
just
kidding. I think that's the industry.
He does that to people.
For the folks at home thinking about trying real estate.
relationships
Right.
like the presidencies due to the presidents.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So we are going to just ask you guys a bunch of questions and really get to know you here. And we're going to start with the basics. So if you could tell us what market you do real estate in and how long you've been in real estate.
Yeah, we work basically in the southern New Hampshire market. We work primarily in Manchester and the surrounding towns. We do a little bit in the Lakes region because that's our happy, fun place. We have a boat on Winnipesaukee. So if we're up there and we get to talking to people and get some organic business, we do it. But our main spot is Manchester and the surrounding towns. We've been in business for 3 years and
coming up on 4.
Nice.
Yep.
All right.
So we're almost,
Yeah.
they say 5 years is the proven grounds for survival. So we're getting there.
Almost.
Oh yeah.
Almost,
Yeah.
yeah.
At least you're on the down, over the hump, you know?
Exactly.
That's great. So, go ahead.
So, well, that would lead us to the next question is what inspired you to get started in real estate and what has kept you passionate about it so far?
Oh yeah. We've real estate kind of really sparked with us when we bought our first house in New Hampshire, and we worked to renovate it and redid the whole interior and sold it for a profit. And that really just taught us what the value of real estate and sweat equity can do, especially as we were young professionals and we hadn't really entered into real estate at that time. But we love sharing that story with our clients of people who are thinking about getting into real estate and purchasing their first home, and they're worried about making that investment. And we're happy to help guide them on that journey.
Yeah.
Wow. So you guys decided to leave your professional corporate careers and dive all in.
All in, yeah.
Right after COVID.
Yeah. We did, yeah.
That's pretty ballsy. What made you
impressive,
guys want to do that?
Yeah.
Just because of that flip in the equity or?
Kind of a combination of life events, essentially. The real answer, the honest truth is we both were kind of bored in our jobs and kind of burning out. We reached what we thought in our early 20s would be like our dream jobs and the pinnacle of our success. And we climbed the corporate ladder. We were making really good money, both in our respective careers. I was in technology and Drew was in chemical and manufacturing. And we kind of, first me, then Drew had this moment of like, is this it? Like, are we going to do this with the rest of our lives? Is it fulfilling? It was great money and it was a really good experience. Don't get me wrong. It's probably one of the reasons why our business has been so successful is what we learned in our corporate jobs. But we, like Drew said, we renovated a couple homes ourselves. We saw the value in that. We thought it was fun. And we just decided, you know what, this industry is exciting. There's a lot of opportunity. We have some great friends in the industry already. And one by one, we just went all in, and it was scary. But we were just saying yesterday how different our lives look and how different Sunday nights are.
Absolutely. We say that all
dreading
the
into
time.
Monday, the Sunday night blues.
And we don't just do like buying and selling real estate. We're investors too. Like we have an investment property in New Hampshire, which is rented out.
Okay.
So we do both buy, sell, and then also
Investing.
And then you also teach spin classes.
I do.
Yeah.
I do teach spin in my spare time. You know.
Yeah. It's a great way to start the day with nice dopamine spike.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I love what you guys just, illustrated to us, because I definitely know that feeling of like, is this it in the corporate world? Like, is this 8 to 5? Mine was a little different. At the time that we were starting out, I was a single mom and I worked in an office, and I felt like I was always late after dropping my kids off at daycare, and I was the first person to leave the office. I always felt like I was leaving something so that I would not be the last mom to pick them up at daycare or pay the late charge. And I just hated that feeling of being chained to a desk.
Right.
And so I know that feeling. And then, Jeremy was in real estate at that time, and he was getting into like wholesaling and investing, and he wanted me to join him. But I was the person that was like, well, I know a lot of people make a lot of money in real estate, but can we really do that? Like, I needed to know that. And I feel like you guys, you maybe were asking yourself, is this it in that job? But then to go and have this success on your first house, it's like proof of concept. You're like, oh, we can make money doing this, and we can succeed at this. So that's a really cool story of how you guys started out. I like it.
No more Sunday night blues.
And no more Sunday night blues.
Yeah. And it's a different kind of scary. Like, I'd rather be scared and stressed and excited about our business, and more so think about, on the flip side of that, all the unlimited opportunities for growth, versus being sort of like, honestly, just like sad and mundane. But having that allegedly steady, safe paycheck coming in, which you trade a lot of your life for that. There were months where I was gone traveling for 2 weeks out of the month, and it's not as sexy as as you think it is from the outside.
Real estate's much sexier.
Well, let's see. So what is one milestone or achievement in your career that you're most proud of so far?
That's a really good question.
I
don't know.
Drew's not proud of anything. He's like,
I'm stumped. Oh my goodness. I'm so bad. Like personally, I'm so bad at celebrating successes because like we're always just on to the next thing. You know, it's like we don't really take the time to like sit and be like, oh, we did that. So it's
gotta
like
celebrate the wins. No matter how
you do.
Small.
It is. So like if you're watching, that's my recommendation. Take more time to celebrate success, so you don't have these moments.
All right, Dan, you tell us, and then it'll trigger Drew to think of something.
For me, for me, I think it is really just like proving out, can our business model work? Because we approached our business much more organically. Like, we were lucky enough to come into leaving our jobs with enough savings to take our time and build a real reputation in our community and pour into other business owners. And it takes a while. There's a delay in building a business that way, from you going out working every single day to you actually getting referral business and making money. And I would say, like, this past year, we started to really reap the benefit of building a business that we feel really good in instead of transaction chasing, which felt in the beginning like a risk. And it was a lot of working harder, longer than we ever worked in our corporate jobs and not making a lot of income.
Build the show for it.
Right.
Totally. So I think it's just the looking back and saying, it's working.
I mean, that's a milestone right there. That's huge. This is working.
We can do this.
Right. Exactly.
I would say probably the best milestone we've had is just the fact that we're both now full-time in the business, and neither of us are in corporate America. Because I mean, like you said, like having that steady paycheck, it can be almost like a crutch. But then it's also like that mindset of like, okay, this is a scarcity mindset. I'm relying on that steady paycheck. However, in this industry, once we get into the rhythm and, we work on building a healthy pipeline and we network like with our friends and our peers, it's just the sky's the limit. There's so much opportunity. So you really have to be able to trust in yourselves to take those necessary steps to get to dive in. And That was a good one.
And it's not easy. Obviously, it takes a year or 2 or 3
Right.
to really build the foundation of any business, right?
Yeah.
You can't just like, I'm going to start a landscaping business, and on day 1, it's just going to start raking in cash,
Yeah.
right? And I'm going to have all these customers and
Yeah.
everything. Like, so, you know, and obviously you guys are probably doing a lot of referral-based business. It means you have to get out there. It takes time. Not everybody's looking to just sell the house today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
But you guys have always done a
But
great job.
definitely, once you are able to be like all in, where you both are all in now, that's when I feel like it really does start to take off, because Jeremy
just
was
click.
Yeah.
holding on to his W-2
'Cause I was
for a
afraid.
while, because we were blending a family of 5 kids at the time.
Yeah.
That's a really scary time for both.
We
He
moved
asked
like
me to
3
leave my
times in
job
2
first,
years.
and I did.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then to leave his job as well, we were scared, really scared. And that was a huge leap of faith. You always say, I burned the boats, and that's
Yep.
what it felt
Yeah.
like. Like,
Yeah.
all right, we better make this work.
Yeah.
But, you know, once you go all in, your business
It
tends to
changes.
grow.
It gets
Yeah.
better. So
I remember being like, oh God, because we were both part-time in the business at different phases. So over the last 3 years, first I was full in it and he was part-time. Then we flipped.
Yeah.
One of my
Okay.
amazing colleagues in North Carolina actually kind of like encouraged me / asked me to come back to Fidelity, and the opportunity was too good to say no to.
No. Yeah.
So I said yes. And I was the world's worst employee after being really that
That's
hard.
usually what happens.
It's a really
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
hard to
I'm-
go
seen the other side.
yeah, I'm like, but it allowed Drew to quit his job, which was amazing and really needed to happen. And then when I finally left my job, I was like, oh shit, you have that, like, it's real,
Yeah.
and we do not have a choice, which actually really can make your business. I would recommend
sure.
it to anyone who's obviously make sure you have your living expenses,
Yeah.
savings.
Yeah.
Don't be, crazy with your lifestyle and everything, but it's worth it if you can build that savings or work toward it. We're actually helping some other part-time agents do that right now, which
amazing.
is the real gift, is being able to
Teach others.
how to do what
Pour
we
into
did.
others too.
Yep.
Yeah, I love
and
that.
we know how to do it because we lived it.
Yeah.
So
Good for you guys.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got there, Shelley?
So let's talk about working with investors. When did you first realize the potential of working with real estate investors?
honestly, probably when we met you guys. Yeah.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah. An agent that works with us at EXP, Matt Sargento, was a friend of yours, and he helped you guys with your insurance for your business.
Yeah, he's the best insurance agent we
He
ever
was.
had. Can you tell him to go back to insurance,
miss him.
please?
Bring that
We
back.
still
miss
need
him.
him.
Matt, if you're listening, this is your wake up call.
Yeah, no kidding.
You've left us a huge void in the insurance space, I promise you.
Yeah. And you guys did, honestly, like a really nice presentation for a bunch of agents. And one of the things that I really liked the most is some of the stories that you shared about how you're real people and you actually treat people that are living in the homes that you're buying with respect. And you just came off as extremely authentic. And we just felt in the past, our focus was residential, buying and selling residential real estate, working with homeowners. And we felt like the investor space was something that was peripheral. And then through meeting you, we realized, oh, wow, this is just another expansive part of our industry. And we felt, honestly, really that we could relate to you. So when an opportunity came up, which was a lot sooner than we thought it would ever, to work with you, it was just kind of instant. And then through working with you, we joined a local real estate investor networking group. And
great.
we
Love
actually
it.
have gained 2 more investor clients who
go.
do
Yeah.
other types of investing,
Yeah.
like multi and commercial. And we really enjoy working with them. We've learned a lot working with them
Yeah.
already. So,
Now you guys
Good.
are opening up a whole nother network of referrals and business that you didn't have before.
Right.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
So you joined the Real Estate Investor Association, and that would kind of lead us to this question. How do you think working with investors will help you to continue to grow your real estate business?
I mean, like, it's just like you mentioned, it's just another avenue of real estate. I mean, real estate is so broad in general. And I mean, we're always looking at building relationships and networking, and being able to network with those investors just opens up a lot more opportunity. Obviously, when we have our eyes on the market, if we know what they're looking for too, we like to share that information and find buyers, or vice versa. If they're trying to offload, like, there's so much to do with it.
Yeah. For me, I think it's we're learning a lot. A lot of these investors are extremely entrepreneurial in mindset, and they're building a business that will hopefully lead to time freedom and financial freedom, which ultimately I think many of us in the industry want and are aiming at. And outside of working with them to help buy buildings or find tenants, whatever it might be, really just being in conversations with them about goals, lifestyle, and kind of that shared vision. It's been really, really, really good for us. So many real estate agents are on a transaction treadmill, and they're not picking their head up to try to build that time freedom.
Yeah.
And that's something that Drew and I are really passionate about. It's why we're at eXp Realty, and a lot of organization builders there think that way, and a lot of investors think that way. So it's just been good for us to just be sponges talking with these people.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like as like investors and entrepreneurs, it's almost like when you're building your own business, you feel like you have to do everything. Like it's you or it's not going to get done. And I feel like as a real estate agent, when we're stepping into those systems, like you mentioned, like helping to find tenants if we can, like we help to take some of the burden off of, what their overall time, like we're giving some of their time back. And so they can focus on what other projects they're on, what other properties they're working on or doing. And then we can offload some of that.
We don't. Provides a lot of value.
We don't mind working hard, like for a lot of agents won't touch leasing because there's it's lower commissions.
Okay.
It's the same amount of work.
Yeah.
But we really feel like in everything we do, we think about how are we building a career that has longevity.
Right.
So if we help these investors build their buildings and deal with their leases, and then they leverage us to buy and sell buildings, like that's building a career. That's full circle.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
much
If you're
more
just
than
thinking the leases, you're thinking short term.
Right.
Short term, obviously transactional. You don't want to live that life forever.
No.
But you're making less money now because you're making an investment into those relationships that we're going to pay dividends down the road. And I'm reading a book, thanks to you guys, recommended by Ryan Serhant, Sell It Like Serhant and Branded by Serhant, and then Sell It by Serhant. I mean, when he was in New York City, he started out just selling rentals and leases. And now look what he's doing, right? So it's a good way. If he didn't do that, he wouldn't have met a lot of those relationships.
Right. You have to show your value through action, and that's really what that is.
And the New York City market is a little different than the market that we see.
And you make a few more dollars selling leases there, right?
But I think one of his best messages was saying yes. So not being afraid to say yes to some of these like conversations or opportunities, and really seeing it through and leading with that, like, I'm going to finish this to the end. And I think that really helped get him started. And we like to do that same thing.
I love saying yes. You guys ever see the Jim Carrey movie, Say Yes?
No.
Oh, yes. I have seen it. Yes. It's kind of like the religion. Yeah.
He just says yes to everything. And
Right.
it's a silly movie because it's Jim Carrey, but it's a great message. It's a lot of fun. What misconceptions do you think agents have about working with investors, and how can they overcome them?
I can tell you my personal misconception, if that helps.
Yeah, that'd be great.
My misconception was investors don't like or don't want to spend time with real estate agents. They have the I can do this on my own, I don't need agents mindset. That is a story that I was telling myself, not based on anything. And it actually kept me from going to some of the real estate investor networking events and getting to know investors. And also, I just sort of also was telling myself, okay, I bet so many agents are at those events. So what's the point of going? I'll tell you that we've been to literally 4, not many, 4. So probably spent 6 hours of our time and ended up meeting 2 amazing contacts who are, 1, now really close friends, 2, their clients and investors. And I dispelled that internal dialogue right away. And what I learned from talking to them, just asking them, was they just think agents are too busy for them. So it's interesting because agents, me, are thinking, oh, they don't want to work with us. And they're thinking agents are way too busy for us. We don't want to waste their time. So,
And that's kind of why we wanted to do this podcast, and why we were always trying to, as we went to the brokerage and gave that presentation, we're always trying to get in front of agents to kind of share what our relationship has been with agents before, how we've been able to work together. Because I think a lot of people just don't even realize it. And sometimes we'll come across people like you, we'll do a deal together and we problem solve through the project. And they'll say, man, like I had a few houses over the years that I just walked away from because I was like, that needs too much work. I can't list it.
Yeah,
like, I don't know what to
situation's
do
too
with it. It's a
complicated.
problem house.
Yeah.
Now I would just call you guys.
Yeah.
And I know you're real people too. You're not just like,
Yeah.
whatever it's
Yeah.
called,
Yeah.
a hedge fund or whatever.
Hedge
but
fund, yeah.
yeah. So
BlackRock, New York.
yeah,
Yeah,
BlackRock,
exactly.
that's what I meant. But
Yeah.
All right.
Makes sense.
All right. Great answer, guys. All right. So, what do you think makes a great investor-agent relationship?
Communication, absolutely, from day one. I mean, there's so much like that each of you will bring to the table as far as what you're seeing. When we're working with an investor, like they could be looking at a new area they don't know very well. They may be looking at renovating and adding amenities to their buildings, and they don't really know the clientele very well, like
Yeah.
what would speak to potential tenants or what would get the most value out of that building if they were to ever resell it. But just opening up that communication in the beginning while, you're still like getting to know each other and being available to have those conversations is so important.
I love that.
yeah.
I think building trust and just adding value for free. Like we have gone to tour buildings of investors that are not even our clients or anything, and just kind of given our opinions, suggestions, because we know what the buying and renting public are looking for
Yeah.
and what they'll spend
But
money
you
on.
guys know it best.
So if
Yeah.
and even if it's something as simple as that, it really can build that relationship and you can start getting comfortable with each other. And now, like, if I see something that's interesting or have a question about something, I literally just text you. I just did it to you last week. And we have great conversations, and it's you end up just becoming friends. For me, I want to be friends and have trust with anyone I'm in business with. And I'm sure the same is true for everybody at this table.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
100%. Love it. Great answer, guys. All right. So, what advice would you give to agents who are maybe hesitant or unsure about working with investors?
I would say show up. Show up, meet people. Because at the end of the day, we're all people, and like we want to see each other succeed, and we'll lean into each other.
Like show up at like a local real estate meetup or something like that?
Real estate meetup,
Get involved in
networking
your
agent
community.
or-
Yeah.
networking event.
Yeah.
Get involved. Because investors are always going to be there. You're an integral part of the real estate market. I would say just show up.
Yeah.
Got anything to add?
I think in general, and for any agent or investor, it's just getting out of your house. With social media and with the internet, it's really hard sometimes to feel like you need to get out and make a real connection because you've made it online.
Yeah.
I'll be the first to tell you that many of our connections began online through social media.
Right.
But then you have to get out in person and actually get face to face and become, like I said, build that trust. That's huge. And it's how agents and investors that are actually doing business. This was the worst market in 30 years. So if you were doing business and doing well,
Yeah.
it's probably because you were out of your house
Yeah.
and you were in the mix.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and were you going to ask
Well, I
something?
was just going to echo what kind of both of you said, like just get out there. And like you were afraid maybe to go to the real estate investor meetup because you were like, there's probably so many people there or whatever. But just going there, you realize that that's not the story at all. These people are nice. So I can kind of parallel that. When we first started out, we did wholesaling, and we would have cash buyers come out to the house and do the walkthrough. And we used to talk about them like the big bad cash buyers,
they
the
were
big
so
bad
scary,
investors. They were
intimidating.
scary to us because we were just
Oh, yeah.
wholesalers in the very beginning. We started with nothing, and and I was so freaked out. And then like we would host them, and they were just normal people that were trying to find their next house to flip.
Right.
And it dispelled that whole like myth that I had too of who they were and what they were like. So yeah, I agree. Get out there and go to these things and just talk to people.
Yeah. And if anyone needs a buddy, seriously, like find me on social media, text me. Because that's
we'll
what it
go
took.
with you.
Yeah, that's what it took for me. Like I was like, this thing's at 8:00 on a Monday. I'm like, this is past my bedtime. I don't know anyone that's there. And my friend was like, no, you are coming. We're meeting at this time. And then I started bringing others. So I think if someone's at home, they're like, I'm not going alone. I don't know anyone. You want a buddy? I'll go with you. I'm
So
raising my
good.
hand right now.
Yeah.
I love that. Great stuff. So what's next for you guys in your real estate career, and how do you see investor agent partnerships playing a role in your future success?
I would say what's next is we are building a team, or not a team, but a group at EXP and a
Wow.
brokerage, not with Childs Realty Group, but we're supporting new agents in the brokerage, and we're really excited to help
great.
them move in.
Yeah, so I think investor partnerships, continuing those and meeting more investors. What's next for us is probably introducing some newer agents to investors too. So showing them like, hey, this is another way to do business. These people are nice. They know a ton. You can learn from them. Most investors come from a helping mindset, really.
Sure.
It's rare to meet an investor who isn't willing to just pour into anybody who wants to learn. So exposing, I guess, the fact that that is out there to new agents who are just getting into the industry. They're nervous. They're learning. It's great too, because you never know. Somebody that we introduce to you may end up becoming a mentee of yours and
Right.
taking that direction with their real estate career. And you don't have to buy and sell residential real estate just because you're a licensed agent. You can do so much more with your real estate license. So, this is just another opportunity, really.
Yeah, and I think you kind of just touched on it, that agents and investors are much more similar than people realize, right?
Totally.
They're out there to provide value, transfer homes, help people out of tough situations. You guys, I know, as agents, are very value given. You guys are really passionate about providing value to the people in your community, and it shows in a lot of things outside of real estate as well. But a lot of agents do that, right? It's a service business. You're there to solve problems, help people out.
Yep.
That's what agents do. They don't realize that's what investors do. They just have different approaches of doing it, but they're trying to achieve the same thing, right? Help sellers, right? Help sellers, bring buyers into these homes, make money, just different approaches. And not that one's better than the other. It's just whatever you prefer. And a lot of times, again, what we want to do is bring the synergy, the relationship between the two of them can be quite magical for all parties involved.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the coolest things about real estate investors is you guys truly can do this anywhere in the country.
Correct.
So I've seen a lot of investor contacts of mine not only work in New Hampshire or Massachusetts, but they pick up properties in places like Florida, Arizona, Montana, which is exciting.
Yeah.
And I think
Up-and-coming markets,
one of the value propositions that we would have for those types of investors is through the EXP network, we can introduce you to other investors who are licensed realtors in any market in the country and in 28 other countries. So something that's not very well known about EXP is it's not a franchise. It's a national brokerage. It's global actually now. So if you guys were like, hey, we want to pick up a property in Florida, we don't know who we can trust there that's an agent, we could help find you the best agent in that market.
Which would be super helpful if we're going into new markets
Yeah.
or some of the markets.
Especially if you don't know the area,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know people.
You're talking to people who've been in different markets, some with
Right.
success and some without
Yeah,
success,
exactly.
Right.
I can
Yeah.
think of a few where we could have used a little help in the beginning. Yeah.
Not too late.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's an amazing gift.
Yeah.
So anybody on the investing side who's watching this and listening to this, there you go. You just reach out to the Childs and they can connect you if you guys are thinking about starting wholesaling or house flipping in any specific market that isn't your backyard.
Yeah.
These guys can connect you with an agent that knows that market better than you do to get you connected with somebody who has a like-minded mindset, which is great.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, listen, I know we're going to wrap this up, but I know you guys are doing amazing things in Manchester. Can you tell us a little? I know you have a monthly meetup. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
We host a monthly meetup called AHA. It stands for Agents Helping Agents. So if you're a real estate agent out there who wants to network, be inspired, and just learn, be around like-minded people, it's always free for realtors. It's the third Thursday of every month at 11:30 at Do Collective on Hanover Street. And the purpose of that event is just to build connections and have everybody leave feeling good. A lot of our speakers are not in the industry. They're other entrepreneurs with their own stories. They're business owners locally. They're real estate investors. They're flippers. So there's a little bit of something for everybody. And if you're not an agent, you're invited as well if you want to get in the room. We have a couple openings for sponsors over the next upcoming 6 or 7 months still. And as a sponsor, there's a couple of perks that go along with that. So if you want to know more, just reach out to us.
Well, that's a great question. Or a great segue. So if they want to learn more and want to connect with you guys, maybe they want to find some agents in other parts of the country, or they want to be a sponsor, how do they go about that?
The front door of our business is our Instagram page. We're at Childs Realty Group. You can also just email us, info@childsrealtygroup.com. That's probably the two most direct ways to get to us. And I can give away my phone number too. I have no issue.
It's up to you. It's up to
It's
you.
already out there in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, you can call me or text me anytime. My number is 603-571-8715. And I do return anything within probably 30 minutes. So
That's impressive.
direct
Yeah,
access.
very
I'm
nice.
always glued to my phone. You can ask Drew. I'm like, yeah. So.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for being
Thank
on
you,
this
guys.
episode.
Thanks for having us.
A lot of great value. Yeah. It was our pleasure, guys. You guys are awesome. So that's it for this week, guys. We'll see you next week. Until then, have a great day. Thank you for tuning into today's episode of Investor Agent Synergy Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share with others who could benefit from stronger partnerships in real estate. And a big thank you to our awesome sponsor, New Hampshire Home Buyers, helping homeowners with fair professional solutions since 2017. For more information about New Hampshire Home Buyers, how they can help you or someone you know, please go visit nhomebuyers.net. Until next time, remember, success in real estate is better together. See you on the next episode of Investor Agent Synergy Podcast.